Good morning, all of you. A very good and warm morning from Melbourne, Australia. Today is Sunday morning, which is in the middle of autumn. But if you see the beautiful sky and the lush green backyard of mine, you can understand how beautiful the day is. But cut long story short, it is one of those warm days, as an exceptional warm day in the middle of autumn. That's not the point today. The point today is to talk about a new drill that I have come up with. Now, the drill that I'm going to share with you today is good for batters, and it is basically to make them more match-aware batters. One thing we have noticed in conventional coaching is that we always try and keep things very conventional, very traditional. Now, when they go for net practices, there's net all around them, so the kids who are batting in the nets, or even youth of any age, or even adults, when you're doing a net practice, you have the nets around you, and there's a bowler bowling at you, and you are just assuming the shots and playing them. What we have done today here in this drill, that we will make it a bit more match specific for the batters to understand how they should play in a match situation and get score runs. So the whole point is to find the gaps in the fielding. Mostly what happens in real time is that when batters go and have a beautiful session in the nets, they play all the shots correctly, they do the cover drives, they do the flicks, they do every shot that they have in their repertoire. But when they go to the actual ground and play the match, they come back home with not scoring much runs. And the main reason is that they are still playing the conventional shots, but this time there is a cover, there is an extra cover, there is a mid-off, there is a point on the offside, a couple of slips, or maybe more than a couple of slips, a gully, a third man, etc., etc. So once you have the whole offside packed up, and also some of the closing fielders in the onside, then obviously you are playing correct shots. The ball is finding the fielder and you're not getting any runs. As a result of that, you try doing something different, you try taking some extra risk, and you also pick up the wrong ball, because if the ball is on island length and if the fielders are on the tip of their toes, then you have to take a massive risk, whether you step out and play, whether you play with your bottom hand, etc. It may or may not work for you, and there you go, you got caught out. However, if we do implement this in our training and make sure that while they are training, they are keeping an eye on those gaps. Now, there's a famous saying in cricket, especially when you're batting, is you actually play the ball where you look at, where you see yourself playing through. Which means that if you are looking at a fielder, invariably, so when we are looking at all the fielders, invariably, more often than not, you will actually play to the fielder. However, when you're batting, you should look at the gaps. You should look at the gaps where my gaps are. Ignore the fielders. The fielders should be like in a lens, should be a little bit out of focus for you, a little bit hazy, right? Because you are now focusing at tight focus. You're focusing on the gaps between the fielder, the gap between a cover and extra cover, the gap between an extra cover and a mid-off. So enough of giving you a bit of a heads up on this. I thought it'll be fruitful to make you understand what we are doing and why we are doing that. So you can implement this for your own kid, or if you're running a coaching center or you're running an academy, cricket academy, any part in the world, you can implement this drill for the young kiddies, for any level of cricketer. So it doesn't matter whether it's a budding cricketer or a elite cricketer. This training is really handful and fruitful for all forms of, all levels of cricket players. So let's go and have a look how I have arranged the cones and other stuff to give you an understanding of what you need to do before you start the drill. So let's go. So here you can see we have got the cones here. So there are a couple of blue cones. It's always easier to have colorful cones of different colors. A couple of green cones and a couple of red cones, or reddish kind of cones. And you can see on the other side, there are a couple of yellow cones. So if you look at it from this angle, that's where the batter is going to stand. So pretty much that's where the batter is going to stand. And you can see there are a couple of cones, right, if you call it a slip position. So there are a couple of cones there. Now what happens, you can also see there is a rope that I have put across like this, like in a D shape. And there's a purpose behind doing that. So this is right in my backyard. So obviously you can do that in grounds, or like I said, the more the merrier, the space. You can do in groups. But this is just one set. To involve more people into the drill, you can actually have batters lined up. Basically, one batter trying the drill and others lined up kind of here, and then one after the other. Or you can have bowlers lined up here to give those throwdowns. This drill is about you playing through those cones. Now you can see behind me, there's a couple of green cones, couple of red cones, couple of blue cones. They are kept in these locations quite strategically. That means that when you are bowling, or if you are coach monitoring this whole thing, you just have to tell the batter, play through the blue cones. And now how to make it more fun filled, you can create two little teams. Let's say you have a lot of cricketers there, so create two teams of 4 batters each or 5 batters each, so which means 10 batters each, and then give points for every time they play the right shot. So for example, if you tell them to play through the 2 blue cones and the batter does actually do that, then you give him or her 2 points. If he or she just misses it and goes past the cone very closely, then you can give a 1 pointer. But if they miss the ball totally or they hit another color cone, then there is no points for that. In fact, in my academy, I don't give any points. I give a 0, and sometimes I give -1 as well. Okay, so it depends on how exciting you want to make. Initially, don't give any minus points because that can demotivate them. Once they have a feel of it, once you have done this drill for a few days, few times, then you can get a little bit harder on that. But for now, that's how we do it. That's point number 1. Now you must be wondering, okay, we can understand the cones, so the kids can play a cover drive. Those red cones are for cuts, the green cones are for a cover drive, and the blue cone is for a mid-off drive or a off drive. And the yellow cones on my left are the 2 cones for the on drive, which is like a long on or mid on. But you can see there is a rope. Now what is this D rope all about? So the batter will basically stand in the middle of this D-shaped rope, and when they play the shot, the ball has to bounce before the ropes. So the ball has to bounce before the rope. I've kept a reasonable size, so it's not going to be a half volley kind of bounce. It's not going to be a bounce right in front of the batter, but it will have if that ball bounces there's no catch. So what I'm trying to avoid is for them to play in the air. Sometimes the batters are focusing so much in the gap, they can play in the air. So in one drill, you are creating the habit of playing towards the ground and through the gaps. So let's now just show you a little bit about how we want to go about with this in real time. All right, I'll get my daughter to come and help me with some throwdowns, and I'll try and see if I can score some points or not. Right. So first ball, I'm going to hit through the blue cones. Okay, my coach told me to hit through the blue cones. And we got 2 points. Now the next one I'll play through the green cones. And it's gone through the green cones. Beautiful. The next one through red cones. And that's a boundary through the red cones. The next one through the red cones again. And -1 because I played it through the green cone. This one is gone past the red cone, so I'll get 1 point. So far, I have got 2 points for playing through the blue cones. I've got 2 points for playing through the green cones. I've got 2 points for playing through the red cones. So that's 6 points. Now there's one ball I said I will play through the red cones, but I didn't. I actually played just to the right of the red cone. So I possibly will get 1 point for starters. down the track, I might not get any points for that. And there was one ball where I said I will play through the red cones and I played through the green cones. That is -1. So how much is my score now? 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1 and -1. So that makes it 6 plus 1, 7, -1, 6. So after 5 shots, I'm standing at a point of 6. So now you hopefully can understand that the whole purpose of this drill is that we make them play to the ground, not in the air, and also meaningfully through the cones that we're talking about. So obviously the coach can say, okay, this one I want you to play down through the green cones. But make sure as a bowler or as a coach throwing the balls, you're actually throwing the ball for this guy to hit the ball down the offside. So there's not much point bowling down the leg side and expecting him to play a shot on the offside. However, at different levels, you can still do that, but not in the starters. When they got a good control over conventional shot, conventional drives, and then still finding the gaps, once you have done that, then they can do the footwork to come down the leg and play in the off, or little bit of this, little bit of cuts, little bit of down the leg movement, and then driving to the off. So all those ones, those fine tuning, or should I say those innovative shots, we can do later on. But when you're starting the drill, to make it interesting, give them points for success and keep it simple. The best part of coaching is when you keep things simple and innovative and exciting enough for the kids to embrace that with open hearts. All right, so that's pretty much it. It's not a costly thingy. We just had a basic rope, some basic cones, a bat and a ball. And off we go with a good drill to engage kids or to engage anyone for that matter in bigger numbers. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like this video, please feel free to share it. Share it. Sharing is caring, so share it. And of course, follow my page and like this video. Thank you. We'll have some more fun, some more action, some more drills coming down the day, down the week, down the month. So stay tuned. Bye.